We are so back, or are we? In today's video, we'll be going over the current price action of Bitcoin and some extremely important news that you need to pay attention to as it relates to your trading decisions. First of all, what we can see here, we broke above the 200-day moving average, and now we are above this orange zone, which is a very important zone for Bitcoin. As we can see, a beautiful daily candle at the time of recording this video. The question is, can we close above this orange zone over here and add some confirmation to the mix so we can go ahead and move on higher? The next key levels that we really want to reclaim here are, one, the bull market support band, which is between this green and red area. If we can reclaim this as support, which coincides also with the next level, 91.8K, we reclaim these two levels, it is game on, as I've been saying across all of my videos. Don't be mistaken though, we do need to reclaim these levels, but so far this is a very positive sign. So why is Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market pumping? One word for you once again: tariffs. Trump came out and basically scaled back his tariffs that are supposed to go live on April 2nd per the Wall Street Journal. This is potentially why Bitcoin is pumping, because as we can see, the stock market is pumping as well. And currently, Bitcoin is heavily related to the stock market, as we've been discussing in all of the videos. If stocks pump, Bitcoin pumps. If stocks dump, Bitcoin dumps. So this whole tariff nonsense has been going on for quite a while. And as soon as he removes some of these stricter measures, that is when we can see Bitcoin and the stock market pump altogether. Very positive signs. We can also see that Bitcoin dominance got a little bit of a red candle so far on the daily, but we are still well within this range. Look, I know a lot of people are calling for altcoin season. I don't want to get too excited yet because this is still very much an uptrend, and you need to respect this uptrend until it actually breaks down of this range. We are still also well below this moving average, so this is definitely something you need to consider. Everyone is calling for altcoin season, but don't get fooled. We do need some confirmation before this actually happens, and thus far we haven't gotten it. And as it relates to alts, what we can see here is that there's the $250 billion level that we want to be paying attention to. If we can reclaim this level, there's a high probability that altcoins as a whole can move on much higher, targeting the top here, which is around $467 billion. Right now, we are still well below. And another discussion about alts, we had another Sunday scam pump by Trump. He came out on Truth Social and said, "I love Trump, so cool, the greatest of them all." And naturally, the Trump token did see a pump, which was quite underwhelming actually, from just around $11 all the way up to couldn't even make it past $12.25. Then we came back down, retraced that pump, and now we're slowly grinding higher with the rest of the market. Guys, this is still a shitcoin, and you have to also remember that the Trump token has a ton of unlocks coming out, so it's likely that the team has told them to try to pump it a little bit so they can sell at higher valuations when they have their tokens in their hands. So keep that in mind. I would not be going anywhere near the Trump token, to be fair, but for those of you that are holding it, I guess a nice little pump. And if you're able to make the most of this news and trade with leverage, maybe you exited your position up here and made some nice profits, congratulations. But aside from that, I wouldn't go anywhere near this token. Simply not worth it. Okay, so Bitcoin is pumping and altcoins are looking to reclaim some very important levels. But what do we need to be careful about? That is the CME gap. As we can see, we formed a massive gap here, right around $84,000 up to 85K. Now, we know that historically, Bitcoin does tend to close these CME gaps. So I wouldn't say that it's clear skies ahead quite yet for Bitcoin. There will be some point, maybe it's today, maybe it's tomorrow, or maybe it's even next week, that we do touch this level once again, in my honest opinion. I believe I read somewhere that it's at least an 80% chance for Bitcoin to go back, fill that CME gap before it can move on higher. So I would definitely pay attention to this level, and I would be particularly cautious because it's very likely that we will in the coming days tap into it. But all things considered, we're above this very important level. If we can close the day above here and get multiple daily closes, hold it as support, I would consider going long, targeting 91.8K, which is a very important level for Bitcoin, arguably the most important level. If you want to trade this market, remember I have weeks down below. It's the first link in my description. You can even get a 50% deposit bonus. That means that if you deposit $2,000 into your account to trade as you normally would, you would get $1,000 back, all for trading purposes. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. So make sure you sign up. It's the first link in my description down below, one of the top exchanges that I've been using for several months now. So what we need to do here is claim this level as support, and then we can hopefully move on higher above the bull market support band, which is over here, and then holding 91.8K as support. Guys, this isn't going to be an easy battle. I don't think that we're just going to pump through and go straight ahead. We will likely have to hold these key levels as support and trend on them for a couple days before we can go ahead and move on higher. But as you can tell in this video, I am a little bit excited because it's been a while and I've been relatively bearish in all of my YouTube videos. And so finally, if we start to get these confirmations, daily closes above this level, daily closes above the 200-day moving average, and daily closes above 91.8K, my oh my, I am going long. And while all of this is happening, yes, of course, Michael Saylor bought some more Bitcoin. He is now holding 500,000 Bitcoins, currently valued at around $44 billion. If we scroll down on his webpage here, Saylor Tracker, we could see that his most recent purchase of $584 million worth of Bitcoin, he bought at around $84,500, and he's currently up around $19 million on this purchase. Huge buy by Michael Saylor. Let's see if in the long term it still ends up being positive for him. Personally, I think that he's way over leveraged, but I mean, hey, if you're a true believer, you can go ahead and buy some Bitcoin. Not financial advice, of course, but that is what I'm doing, and that is what many other people are doing, such as Michael Saylor. Also, you don't need to trade. If you want to just accumulate Bitcoin, you can sign up with the first link in my description down below. It'll bring you directly to Weeks. As I said, one of the most reliable exchanges that I have been using over the past few months. So while Saylor is buying more Bitcoin, BlackRock's Build Fund continues to grow, and they're relatively quiet about it. As we can see here, their fund now holds over $1 billion worth of Ethereum. Do you think that these guys are bearish? I took this from Token Terminal, and as we can see here, the green on the chart, over $1 billion, which represents their Ethereum holdings. Long-term, BlackRock are bullish on Ethereum, and they are most certainly bullish on Bitcoin as well. Keep this in mind. Do you really think that the big guys are here to lose money? I don't think so. And there's just a couple things that I want to run by you before I wrap up this video. Once the market and sentiment turns bullish again, you'll see a huge amount of announcements being released. Crypto projects have been holding back their announcements and marketing in general, so get ready for a flood of good news soon. This I completely agree with. Now, I wouldn't say that the market is necessarily back quite yet. As I said, we do need to reclaim these key levels, but when we reclaim these key levels and Bitcoin continues to start trending higher and higher and higher, we should see a lot of altcoin companies release some bullish news, some more marketing initiatives to really pump their tokens' prices. And the reason being is because they want to be as aligned with the market as possible. I've worked in crypto companies before, and if you don't time your announcements correctly, a lot of money can go to waste in terms of marketing. If no one is paying attention to the market, if the market is in a downtrend, it's a bunch of dollars wasted. And so this is why companies want to go ahead and wait for those bullish confirmations before they make any kind of big announcements. Completely agree with this, so be on the lookout for your favorite projects. They will likely be making some announcements as the tides start to turn for Bitcoin. And the final thing that I want to share with you, just a reminder to be careful. We can see that a ton of liquidity is piling up below the current Bitcoin price. So there is a chance that one, with the CME gap right around $84,000, and two, with all of this liquidity below the current levels from $86,000 all the way down to $83,000, I would expect Bitcoin to retrace and tap into those levels, even if it's to move higher from here. So be careful with your leveraged longs, because this is definitely something that you need to consider. As we know, the CME gap is highly likely to get filled, and the market makers have a way of trying to grab all of this liquidity before we could potentially move on higher. And that sums up today's video. Trump appears to be taking his foot off the tariff pedal, and as we can see, the markets are reacting very positively to this news. Stocks are soaring, and Bitcoin is finally getting a little bit of relief. As per usual, Michael Saylor continues to buy more Bitcoin, but there are two things that you need to be cautious of. One, the CME gap, and two, all of the liquidity below the current price levels as Bitcoin continues to soar higher. We do need to reclaim some key levels before we make an attempt at an all-time high, but I'm here to report this to you in real time. As per usual, if you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.